I would call it the theory of wow, where they change it, like almost a thing where they get your attention, you see the block, and you get your camera, because you hear that all the time. You're about to shoot it, and it goes off. It's like, we got your attention, and it's the, or they call it like the trickster phenomena. It actually is a circus, because it's like Jesus. If Jesus hadn't walked on water and fed 5,000 people or whatever, nobody'd know who the guy is. They do the circus to get your attention, and then they give you the message, if there's a message.
Are the people making this happen themselves? That's what I thought. Like, there seems to be a little bit of a connection there. Don't you think, Grant?
Like, whatever you see out there is inside your head. It's this whole concept that it's all just consciousness. It's all the world's a stage. All the men and women are but actors. We have our entrances, our exits, and it's this consciousnness thing that it may be just Maya. I don't, and
who knows?
And it appears to be out there, but again, if you manifest, and we have that with why do certain people see stuff and why other people don't, you realize it's not a random pattern. Because in the 70s, you had yours in the 60s, I had mine in the 70s, and it was definitely considered then to be a random phenomena. But we now know absolutely it's not a random phenomenon. The people who are being taken or whatever are families and kids, and there's no random, it's probably not random at all. Or if you get in the reincarnation idea that it may, you agreed to this, you agreed to that, then it's all, we're just playing a play. And we had an agreement before we came in and said, okay, we're going to meet at this time, we're going to do this, and we're all working together on some thing. Or like, you even ask experiencers, you ask them, do you think you're on a mission? They'll all say the same thing. They'll go, yeah, I think so. And some of them will say, I know what it is. And then the other ones will say, I don't know, I think I do, but I don't know what it is. And it's that idea that it's much more complex than people think it is. Or 1890s, I mean, they had propellers and you know, stuff like that, and big lights on them and stuff like that. And you see this and you realize, like, this is much more complex, that it's almost like it's following a pattern and it goes from one thing to another. Or that they're changing, I would call it the theory of wow, where they change it, like almost a thing where they get your attention, you see the block, and you get your camera, because you hear that all the time. You're about to shoot it, and it goes off. It's like, we got your attention, and it's the, or they call it like the trickster phenomena. It actually is a circus, because it's like Jesus. If Jesus hadn't walked on water and fed 5,000 people or whatever, nobody'd know who the guy is. They do the circus to get your attention, and then they give you the message, if there's a message. But until they get your attention, that's why they do this weird stuff. Like, why are they doing this weird stuff? It's to make you're scratching your head going like, why are they doing the crop circle? Why don't they just land and do it? Because everybody's going, how the heck do they make this crop circle? And they're looking around, you know.
That's a head scratcher.
They know you're going to be telling everybody the story, and that's what they want. They want people to wake up, and it's almost like somebody had that expression where they want to break your mind. They keep cracking, showing you this stuff, and then your mind just sort of opens up, it cracks, and it opens up, and suddenly you're open to it. Otherwise, your ego is always fighting it off. It's manifest, you know, it's garbage. I don't believe it or whatever.
But once you experience it, how can you not believe it? Like,
Exactly.
Yeah, but they still want you to tell other people. It sort of raises the consciousness as people are doing it, and it's that kind of thing. So it has a significance to the person that it happens to, but nobody ever sees it. Or, you know, with Uri Geller when they're in the 70s, and that's the thing. It goes right back to the 70s with Uri Geller, where Edgar Mitchell, you know, he's eating ice cream, Uri Geller, and he cuts his lip. And he pulls it out of his mouth, and it's Edgar Mitchell's pin that he had lost 2 years before in Houston, Texas. It's the front part of the pin. It's an Air Force pin or NASA pin or something like that. And they go to the lab, and then they're standing in the lab, and Yuri's in one room, and they're in another room, and him and Hal Puthoff are standing there all of a sudden, tink! They look around, and the back half of the pin is on the floor behind them. And then you can imagine that kind of stuff. So I asked Hal, and I said to Hal, Hal, you had this in the 70s. There's no pieces falling off of flying saucers. Come on, this is a port material. They're dropping this stuff. They're just where they want you to go, because no two pieces are the same. People are looking at them and say, oh, if we figure out how the metal is working, we're going to know how to build a flying saucer. And they get everybody going. This thing looked like a spike with bubbles on the end, 99% nickel with a central copper core on it. And they had it. James McDonald, who was the big researcher, had it. They didn't know what to do with it. They put it in NASA. They looked at it and they couldn't figure it out. It was just weird. And the file was there. They had the photographs. We don't know where the piece is, but the photographs were there. And that's what I said to Hal. I said, Hal, this has got to be a port. You knew this was going on in the 1970s. don't you think this is a port? And he says to me, hell's very short. He says, we're going to analyze the material one step at a time. So he didn't deny it. But I said to him, I said, come on, Hal, you know this is a port material. You're not going to build a flying saucer from this stuff.